Saints. The line it's New Orleans -3. Over/unders at 49. For the
which is a high over under.
that is high, and I like they could score some points this game. The Saints defense isn't that great. You saw the Colts come back on them after a strong first half for the New Orleans defense, and the
Yeah, but that was still only 41, 27-14.
but hey, I mean they were able to move the ball down the field when Andrew
Or
Luck
was it
was able.
27-20 final score?
They scored. Yeah, because Hilton and Moncrief. Hilton
Yeah.
had two and Moncrief had
So
one.
47.
Yeah.
But, well, you know, the trouble for me, though, with the Saints is, and I know you were high on Ingram last week, which ended up being a great play, but there's so many weapons at Drew Brees' disposal. And the Giants, I think that your goal is to spread the field on them. So a lot of experts have Willie Snead as a value play. I'm just mentioning that here. I'm kind of avoiding them as a whole team. But I do want to mention the other thing experts keep saying is Larry Donnell. And I've watched him play multiple games the last two seasons, and he has brick hands. I never want to play him. I never want to see him on my lineup. So just keep that in mind. He might get targets, but I have yet to see him really show that he should be doing anything but block.
I like on the Giants. I think Odell Beckham. If you want a one, with upside, he's always a good play. He's 8,700 on FanDuel, and on DraftKings he is 8,500. So if you don't want Julio, you don't want DeAndre. I think Odell Beckham's a great play if you want to run out of one receiver. You saw Moncrief and Hilton were both able to do things against the New Orleans defense last week. I thought New Orleans was a good matchup for rushing, and they are. They've allowed 4.9 yards per carry, 129 yards on the ground. Frank Gore really didn't take advantage of that. I think Rashad Jennings is worth a look.
Well, let me say too, watching the Giants game 2 weeks ago against the Eagles, watching how the Panthers were able to beat the Eagles. It was on cutbacks. The Giants line looked horrible in that game, just in general, when they played the Eagles 2 weeks ago. Is Gore a cutback running back?
I don't think so. I watching a lot of Niners games these past few years, he just seems to be one of those guys that finds a hole and hits it. He's a what do they call that? A downhill runner.
Yeah.
And that's how I always saw him.
Yeah.
So
now, is Jennings a cutback running back?
he can be. He hasn't done that well. I mean, this season, but he can make moves. He can.
Because I think if he has that ability, and I don't know why I said Eagles, I meant Saints. Saints line. But yeah. Anyways, sorry, I'm detracting from what you were saying, but I'm thinking it might be possible, even though I don't like his line. But he has a different running style than Gore.
Yeah. And if I'm just thinking about like potential game flow, I think Shane Vereen could be a player that you look at in this game, in that he's the pass catching running back on the Giants. He hasn't had, obviously, nowhere near the work that Jennings has had, but he had a game against San Francisco where he had 8 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown, along with 5 rushing attempts for 24 yards. So they're going to work Vereen in. He's the third down back. He could see some dump offs in a shootout if you think that's what's going to happen with the over/under. I think I like Vereen a little bit more than Rashad Jennings. He's $200 more on DraftKings. So
you're saying the DraftKings likes him more too?
DraftKings does like him more, and in a point per reception game. So if I'm on DraftKings, I'm probably going to go Vereen. If I'm on FanDuel, I'll probably go Jennings.
A little appearance
That
by
said,
Mickey there.
those are tournament picks for me.